Imagine yourself sinking gently beneath the surface of a warm, tropical sea. The world above, with its familiar sounds and textures, simply melts away. Here, a profound silence reigns, broken only by the soft rhythm of your own breathing. You are floating, weightless, in a vast cathedral of blue. Sunlight filters down from above, splitting into shimmering rays that dance through the crystal-clear water. This is a kingdom unlike any on land, a place of extraordinary beauty and profound mystery. It is a world where life has painted itself in every color imaginable. All around you, life erupts in a riot of color. A school of brilliant yellow tangs drifts past like a cloud of autumn leaves. A parrotfish, adorned in shades of turquoise, pink, and orange, meticulously scrapes at the coral. Its colors are so vivid, so impossibly bright, that it seems painted by a master artist. Tiny damselfish, electric blue and fiercely territorial, dart in and out of branching coral. The scene is a living kaleidoscope, constantly shifting and changing. This is not a fantasy. This is a coral reef. It is a bustling metropolis built by tiny animals. It is home to a quarter of all marine species. Here, color is not just a beautiful accident. It is the language of life itself. It is used to hide. It is used to warn. It is used to attract a mate. It is used to stake a claim. For a fish, its colors are its identity, its tools for survival, and its way of speaking to the world around it. To understand these colors is to begin to understand the intricate and delicate web of life that thrives beneath the waves. Our journey today will take us deep into this silent, colorful world. We will explore how these creatures produce such dazzling displays, from the pigments in their skin to the very structure of their scales that bend and reflect light. We will investigate why a fish might be a brilliant, shocking red, or a subtle, sandy brown. We will travel from the sunlit shallows of the reefs to the crushing, eternal darkness of the deep sea. Together, we will uncover the secrets behind some of the most spectacular and surprising animals on Earth. And we will witness the magic that happens when life embraces light. Why is the ocean world so full of color? To answer this question, we must first understand the medium, water. Water changes everything, especially how we see light. On land, light travels freely, and we see a full spectrum. Underwater, the rules are different. As sunlight penetrates the sea, water acts like a filter. It absorbs the warmer colors first, reds, oranges, vanishing within the first few meters. As you go deeper, yellows, greens, until only blues and violets remain. This filtering of light is a unique challenge for animals. A fish that's brilliant red at the surface looks dull and gray deeper down. This fact of physics has shaped evolution in profound ways. Animals adapted, inventing ways to create and perceive color. Masters of illusion, structural color, camouflage, signaling. Turning water's limits into survival and communication. Our promise: marvel at beauty and decode the science. How does a fish make true blue? Why can some fish change color instantly? What happens in the abyss where sunlight never reaches? How do creatures make their own light to hunt, hide, and find one another? Our quest is to decode the secret language of light. Meet the mandarin fish, psychedelic patterns, not pigments but special reflecting cells. Encounter the lionfish, bold stripes, a clear warning to predators. Journey into the midnight zone for the anglerfish. The anglerfish's glowing lure attracts prey in pitch darkness. Each fish tells a story of evolution, survival, and adaptation. Our journey into the homes of color begins in the most obvious, yet most spectacular, of all marine habitats, the coral reef. Our journey into the homes of color begins in the most obvious, yet most spectacular, of all marine habitats, the coral reef. These are the bustling, sun-drenched cities of the ocean. Built over thousands of years by tiny coral polyps, these intricate structures provide shelter, food, and a place to raise young for countless species. The water here is typically shallow, clear, and warm, allowing sunlight to penetrate deeply. This abundance of light, combined with the complex three-dimensional landscape of the reef, creates the perfect stage for an explosion of color. It is a world where being seen is just as important as being able to hide. The inhabitants of this vibrant metropolis have evolved to make the most of their environment. Consider the butterfly fish, a classic reef dweller. With its thin, disc-shaped body, it can easily navigate the narrow nooks and crannies of the coral. Its body is often a canvas of brilliant yellows, blacks, and whites, painted in bold patterns of spots and stripes. These patterns are not random. They serve a purpose. They can confuse predators, making it difficult to discern the fish's outline or the location of its eye. They can confuse predators, making it difficult to discern the fish's outline or the location of its eye. For the butterfly fish, its dazzling appearance is a sophisticated tool, essential for its daily life in this crowded and competitive world. Another master of the reef is the angelfish. Often larger and more majestic, they glide through the water with a serene confidence. The emperor angelfish, for example, undergoes a remarkable transformation. As a juvenile, it sports a mesmerizing pattern of electric blue and white concentric circles, a design so different from the adult that it was once thought to be a separate species. This juvenile pattern may signal to other adults that it is not a threat or a competitor for territory. As it matures, it develops bold yellow and blue horizontal stripes, a clear sign of its status and readiness to breed, broadcasting its presence across the sunlit reef. In this city of coral, every color tells a story, and every pattern has a meaning. The sheer diversity of life means that competition is intense. Fishes must find ways to stand out to attract a mate, yet also blend in to avoid becoming a meal. The result is an evolutionary arms race of visual communication, where natural selection has favored the most creative and effective uses of color. From the tiny, gem-like damselfish to the grand, stately angelfish, the reef is a living gallery, showcasing life's incredible ability to adapt and thrive through the language of light. It is a testament to the power of a sunlit, structured environment to foster unparalleled beauty. We now leave the bright open spaces of the coral reef and move closer to the shore to a very different but equally important habitat, the mangrove forest. Here, dense tangles of roots rise from the silty seafloor, creating a submerged forest that bridges the gap between land and sea. The water is often murky, stained brown by tannins leaching from the decaying leaves. Sunlight struggles to pierce the dense canopy above, casting shifting patterns of light and shadow onto the water below. This is a world of dappled light, a quiet, sheltered place that acts as a crucial nursery for many young fish. The unique conditions of the mangrove forest demand a different approach to coloration. The bright, gaudy colors that work so well on a sunny reef would be dangerously conspicuous here. Instead, the fish that call this place home often adopt more subtle, cryptic palettes. Many species are adorned in shades of silver, bronze, brown, gray. These colors allow them to blend seamlessly with the detritus on the seafloor, the muddy sediment, the tangled roots. Vertical bars and mottled patterns are common, mimicking the play of light and shadow, filtering through the canopy, providing excellent camouflage from predators lurking both above and below the water. One of the most iconic residents of this habitat is the archerfish. It is a master of its environment, famous for its ability to spit jets of water to knock insects off the mangrove leaves above. Its body is a perfect example of mangrove camouflage, silvery white, with several dark, vertical bars running down its sides. When viewed from below, its light belly blends with the bright surface of the water. When seen from above, its darker back and bars merge with the shadowy depths and tangled roots. This countershading allows it to approach the surface unseen, positioning itself perfectly to hunt its terrestrial prey. The mangrove is not just a place for permanent residence, it is a vital kindergarten for the ocean. The juvenile forms of many reef fish, including some snappers, groupers, even parrotfish, spend their early lives here. The murky water and complex root systems provide protection from the larger predators that patrol the open reef. In this safe haven, they can grow and develop, often sporting muted colors that suit the environment. As they mature, they undergo a transformation, and when they are large enough, they will leave the shelter of the mangroves and migrate to the reef, donning the brighter, bolder colors of their adult lives. Our next stop takes us to the vast, gently swaying underwater prairies of the ocean, the seagrass meadows. These habitats are found in sheltered, shallow coastal waters all over the world, from the tropics to the temperate zones. Long, green blades of grass rise from the sandy bottom, forming dense beds that can stretch for miles. Like the mangrove forests, these meadows are vital nurseries and feeding grounds. The light here is different again. It is a soft, filtered green as sunlight passes through the canopy of grass blades. This creates a serene, monochromatic world, a stark contrast to the riot of color on the coral reef. Life in the seagrass meadow has adapted to this world of green and brown. Camouflage is paramount. The dominant color scheme is, unsurprisingly, green. Fish have evolved to match the exact shades of the seagrass they live among. The pipefish, a long, slender relative of the seahorse, is a master of this disguise. It orients its body vertically, swaying gently back and forth in the current, perfectly mimicking a blade of seagrass. Its color, pattern, and even its movement are all part of an elaborate act of concealment, making it almost invisible to both predators and the tiny crustaceans it preys upon. Other creatures use a different strategy. Instead of matching the grass itself, they mimic the sandy patches and debris scattered between the blades. The peacock flounder is an expert at this. It lies flat on the seabed, its two eyes positioned on one side of its head. Its skin is covered in specialized cells that allow it to change its color and pattern in seconds, perfectly matching the texture of the sand, the gravel, the rubble it is resting on. A slight dusting of sand on its back completes the illusion. A predator could swim directly over it and see nothing but an empty patch of seafloor. Seagrass meadows are also a critical food source. Manatees and green sea turtles graze on these underwater pastures. For the fish that live here, the meadows provide not only shelter, but also a rich buffet of small invertebrates that cling to the grass blades. Species like the pinfish, with their silver bodies and a distinct black spot, travel in schools grazing through the meadows. Their silvery sides reflect the surrounding green and blue, helping them blend into the dappled light of their environment. This home of green is a quiet, productive world where survival depends on being able to disappear into the background. Finally, we leave the sunlit world behind and descend into the largest, most mysterious habitat on Earth, the deep sea. Below about 200 meters, the last vestiges of sunlight fade into an eternal twilight. Below 1,000 meters, we enter the midnight zone, absolute darkness, crushing pressure, near freezing temperatures. Here, the rules of color are completely rewritten. In a world without sunlight, the colors an animal possesses are irrelevant. A bright red fish, a dull brown fish, both appear as nothing more than black silhouettes. So, what role could color possibly play here? In the absence of sunlight, the fish of the deep have evolved to make their own. This phenomenon is called bioluminescence, the production of light by a living organism. It is the dominant language of this dark world. Instead of reflecting light, these creatures create it with chemical reactions to produce flashes, glows, shimmering displays. Some fish, like the hatchetfish, use bioluminescence for camouflage. They have light-producing organs called photophores along their bellies. They adjust the brightness of these lights to match the faint glimmer of light filtering from above, erasing their own shadow and becoming invisible to predators below. For many deep-sea dwellers, light is not for hiding, but for hunting. The anglerfish is perhaps the most famous example. It drifts through the darkness, a living trap. From its head extends a long, fleshy filament at the tip of which is a glowing lure filled with bioluminescent bacteria. In the endless black, this single point of light is an irresistible beacon for smaller fish and crustaceans. As they draw near to investigate the curiosity, the anglerfish opens its enormous, tooth-filled mouth and engulfs them in an instant. A brutally efficient strategy, perfect for a place where meals are few and far between. But bioluminescence is not just for hunting and hiding, it's also for communication. In the vast, empty darkness of the abyss, finding a mate is a monumental challenge. Many species have developed unique patterns of photophores on their bodies, like constellations of stars. These patterns act as identifiers, allowing recognition from a distance. A male and female might signal with a specific sequence of flashes, a silent, coded conversation in the dark. In this world devoid of sun, life has ingeniously created its own light, using it to survive, to hunt, to find connection in the crushing solitude of the deep. So, how do fish create their astonishing array of colors? One of the most fundamental ways is through pigments. These are simply chemical compounds that absorb certain wavelengths of light and reflect others. The color we see is the light that is reflected back to our eyes. Think of it like paint. A fish with red pigment has special cells in its skin, called chromatophores, that are filled with molecules that absorb blue light, absorb green light but reflect red light. This is why a cardinal fish appears so vividly red in the shallow, sunlit waters of the reef. Its skin is a living canvas, painted with chemical colors. These pigment-filled cells are not static. Fish have remarkable control over them. They can expand their chromatophores, much like tensing a muscle. They can contract their chromatophores, much like relaxing a muscle. When a fish expands a chromatophore, the pigment spreads out, making the color more intense and visible. When it contracts the cell, the pigment gathers into a tiny, almost invisible dot. This allows a fish to change its brightness or even its pattern in response to its mood, its environment, or a potential threat. It is a dynamic system, a rapid and responsive way to change one's appearance, all powered by simple chemistry and cellular control. Fish cannot produce all pigments on their own. The most common pigments are melanins, which create blacks and browns, and carotenoids, which produce yellows, which produce oranges, which produce reds. Melanins are produced by the fish itself, but carotenoids are a different story. These vibrant pigments must be obtained through diet. A flamingo gets its pink color from eating shrimp, and it is the same for many fish. A clownfish, with its brilliant orange bands, gets its color from the algae. Small crustaceans it eats. Its color is a direct reflection of its health and its success at finding food, a vivid advertisement of its fitness. This reliance on diet for color has profound implications. A well-fed fish will be more brightly colored, making it more attractive to potential mates. The color becomes an honest signal of quality. As one marine biologist, Dr. Anya Sharma, simply puts it, for many species, a bright color is like a health certificate. It tells others, I am strong, I am well fed, I have good genes. This chemical canvas, therefore, is not just for decoration. It is a vital part of the fish's life story, telling tales of its health, its diet, and its place in the complex social fabric of the ocean. Section 2. The crystal architecture. Structural color pigments are responsible for many of the warm colors we see, but what about the blues, greens, iridescent shimmers? These colors are often produced in a completely different and truly remarkable way, through structural color. Unlike pigments, which absorb light, structural colors are created when light interacts with microscopic surfaces. The fish's skin or scales contain layers of tiny, transparent crystals, often made of guanine, a waste product. These crystals are arranged in precise, repeating patterns, like stacks of infinitesimally small mirrors. It is not a chemical process, but a physical one. It is the architecture of the skin itself that creates the color. When light strikes these crystalline layers, it is scattered and reflected in a very specific way. Depending on the spacing and angle of the crystals, certain wavelengths of light interfere with each other. Some colors are canceled out, while others are amplified and reflected back. This is the same principle that creates the shimmering colors on a soap bubble, the iridescent sheen on a butterfly's wing. It allows fish to create brilliant blues and violets, colors that are almost impossible to produce with pigments. The neon tetra, with its electric blue stripe, is a perfect example of this natural nanotechnology at work. One of the most dazzling masters of structural color is the mandarin fish. This small, shy reef dweller is covered in a psychedelic pattern of wavy orange, blue, and green lines. For years, scientists were puzzled by the intensity of its blue. They discovered that instead of using guanine crystals, the mandarin fish has unique, specialized chromatophores called cyanophores. These cells contain tiny platelets that are perfectly arranged to reflect only pure blue light. This structural innovation gives the mandarin fish one of the most vibrant and true blue colors in the entire animal kingdom, a feat of biological engineering that makes it stand out even on the colorful reef. The magic of structural color is that it can change depending on the angle from which you view it. This quality is known as iridescence. As the fish moves, or as the observer's position changes, the colors can shift and shimmer, flashing from blue, green, purple. This can be an effective way to confuse a predator, creating a dazzling flash of light that makes it difficult to track the fish. It can also be used in courtship displays, with a male flashing his iridescent scales to catch the eye of a female. It is a world of living crystals, where physics and biology combine to create light and motion. Section 3. The living light, bioluminescence. We have seen how fish use pigments, structures, to manipulate the sun's light. But in the deep sea, where there is no sunlight to manipulate, life has evolved its own solution. It makes its own light. This is bioluminescence, one of nature's most enchanting phenomena. It is not a reflection, but a creation. Through a chemical reaction inside their bodies, deep-sea creatures can produce a cold, ethereal light. The basic ingredients are a molecule called luciferin and an enzyme called luciferase. When they combine in the presence of oxygen, a flash of light is produced. It is a biological light bulb, evolved for life in total darkness. This self-made light serves many purposes, the most common of which is camouflage. We encountered this with the hatchetfish, which uses lights on its belly for counter-illumination, effectively cloaking itself from predators below. This strategy is incredibly common in the twilight zone, the area between 200 and 1,000 meters deep, where a faint amount of light still filters from above. The fish must constantly adjust the brightness of its photophores to match the changing light conditions. It is a delicate and continuous balancing act, a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek played with living light in the vast, dim expanse of the open ocean. Light is also a weapon. We saw the anglerfish use its glowing lure to attract unsuspecting prey. But other predators have even more sophisticated tools. The stoplight loosejaw dragonfish has a truly remarkable ability. Not only can it produce the typical blue-green bioluminescent light, but it also has a special pair of photophores under its eyes that emit red light. Most deep-sea creatures cannot see red light, so the loosejaw can use its red headlamp to illuminate its prey without being detected. It is like having a sniper scope with an infrared beam. The prey, often small red crustaceans, remains completely unaware that it is being watched. Finally, in the immense darkness, light is used to communicate. Finding a mate or staying with your group can be nearly impossible. Many species, like the lanternfish, have unique patterns of light-producing organs along their sides. These arrangements of dots and dashes act like barcodes, allowing them to instantly recognize members of their own kind. A researcher once described watching a swarm of bioluminescent organisms as like seeing a city from an airplane at night, but a city that is constantly moving and speaking in a language of light. It is a silent, beautiful, and complex conversation happening every moment in the planet's darkest corners. Section 4. The Art of Deception. Combining colors for survival fish rarely rely on just one method of coloration. The true genius of their design lies in how they combine pigments, structural colors, and bioluminescence. These combinations allow them to communicate complex messages and execute brilliant deceptions. A fish's appearance is not a single statement, but a rich and layered story, told through the interplay of different types of color. This mastery makes them successful inhabitants of diverse and dangerous underwater worlds, from the brightest reef to the darkest abyss. Consider the common lionfish. Its bold, vertical stripes of red, brown, and white are created by pigment cells. This is warning coloration, aposematism. The pattern is not for camouflage. It is meant to be seen. It signals to predators. I am dangerous. I am armed with venomous spines. Do not try to eat me. A memorable pattern plus a painful defense quickly teaches predators to leave it alone. Other fish combine pigment and structure for subtler deception. Many butterfly fish have a dark spot near their tail that looks like an eye. This false eye spot. They also have a dark stripe through their real eye, hiding it. A predator aiming for the head will strike the tail. The butterfly fish gets a split second to escape. It is a brilliant illusion, using simple pigment patterns to misdirect an attack and turn the tables on a hunter. Even more complex is the interplay of color and behavior. Cuttlefish are masters of color change. Their skin has chromatophores for pigment, iridophores for shimmer, and leucophores for white. By controlling these layers, they change color, pattern, and texture in under a second. A male can show aggressive patterns to a rival on one side while courting a female on the other. A silent, two-sided conversation written on its skin. In the underwater world, attracting a mate is a serious business. With so many species living in close quarters, it is vital to send a clear and unmistakable signal to a potential partner. For many fish, color is the primary language of love. During the breeding season, males of many species undergo a dramatic transformation. Their colors intensify, becoming brighter and more vibrant than ever. This is not mere vanity. It is a powerful biological display. A male's brilliant hues serve as an advertisement of his health-strength genetic quality. He is literally wearing his fitness on his scales for all to see. The mandarin fish, which we met earlier, performs one of the most enchanting courtship rituals. As dusk settles over the reef, these small, shy fish emerge from their coral hideouts. The male, already a spectacle of psychedelic blue and orange, begins his performance. He erects his dorsal fin, flashing its colors, and begins to dance around a chosen female. If she is receptive, they will rise slowly together, side by side in a graceful spiral towards the surface. At the very peak of their ascent, they release their eggs and sperm into the water. It is a fleeting, beautiful moment, a dance of color and light that ensures the next generation. This use of color in courtship is not limited to the tropics. Even in colder waters, color plays a key role. Consider the stickleback, a small fish found in streams and coastal waters across the northern hemisphere. For most of the year, it is a rather drab, silvery fish. But when the time comes to breed, the male undergoes a stunning change. His underside turns a brilliant, fiery red, and his eyes become a startling, iridescent blue. This temporary costume is designed to catch a female's eye. He uses his red belly to lead her to the intricate nest he has built, a clear and vibrant signal of his readiness to be a father. A diver I once knew, a seasoned underwater photographer named Elena, spent weeks trying to capture the spawning ritual of a particular species of wrasse. She described the male as being on fire, his colors so intense they seemed to vibrate. He would flare his fins and streak through the water like a bolt of lightning. The females seemed mesmerized. It was clear that the most flamboyant male was the one who won the prize. Her story highlights a universal truth in the ocean. When it comes to courtship, a spectacular show of color can make all the difference between success and failure. While some colors are designed to attract, others are designed to repel. In the animal kingdom, bright colors often serve as a warning sign. This strategy, known as aposematism, is a form of honest advertising. The animal uses a conspicuous pattern to broadcast a clear message to predators. I am not worth eating. I am poisonous. I am venomous. I will taste terrible. This is a bold gamble. The animal makes itself highly visible, relying on the predator's ability to learn and remember the association between the bright color and the unpleasant experience that follows an attack. It is a lesson that most predators only need to learn once. The lionfish, with its dramatic red and white stripes and long, venomous spines, is a classic example of this. Its color pattern is instantly recognizable and memorable. A young grouper that tries to eat a lionfish will get a painful mouthful of venom for its trouble. If it survives the encounter, it will associate that bold pattern with pain, and will avoid lionfish for the rest of its life. The color becomes a universal symbol for danger, protecting not just that individual lionfish, but all other lionfish in the area. The effectiveness of this strategy is one reason why lionfish have been so successful as an invasive species in new environments. Another master of the warning signal is the pufferfish. Many species are covered in spots, bright patches of yellow, bright patches of orange, bright patches of red, all against a dark background. When threatened, they inflate their bodies with water, becoming a spiky, inedible ball. This dramatic change in shape makes their warning colors even more obvious. But the real threat lies within. Pufferfish contain a potent neurotoxin, one of the most powerful poisons in nature. Predators that ignore the visual warning and manage to take a bite will not make the same mistake again. The bright colors are a life-saving billboard for a deadly defense. This strategy is so effective that it has been proven time and again in simple experiments. Researchers have presented inexperienced, captive-bred predators with models of fish. The predators readily attack drab, camouflaged models. But they hesitate and often refuse to attack brightly colored models that mimic the patterns of known poisonous species. This innate caution, or rapid learning, demonstrates the power of these aposematic signals. For these fish, being bright and bold is not a risk. It is their most effective form of insurance, a visual shield that allows them to navigate their dangerous world with confidence. The success of warning coloration has led to an even more cunning evolutionary strategy: mimicry. If predators learn to avoid a brightly colored dangerous animal, harmless animals can adopt the same disguise. This is called Batesian mimicry. The mimic is an imposter, a sheep in wolf's clothing. It enjoys being left alone without paying the cost of venom. A remarkable example lives on Indonesian coral reefs. A venomous fang blenny has a distinct pattern: blue, yellow, black stripe. Predators learn to avoid it. A harmless plesiopid lives nearby. Through evolution, it developed an almost identical pattern, showing both. Predators mistake the mimic and swim away. The disguise can fool even trained eyes. Some mimics go further. The harlequin filefish mimics coral, not fish. It has a mottled pattern, yellow-white matching toxic xenia coral. It even absorbs coral chemicals, making it taste bad. Its cleverest trick is behavior. It swims head down, waving its fins like pulsing coral polyps, a full performance in disappearing. The mimic octopus is astonishing. It can impersonate dozens of toxic animals. To deter a damselfish, it pulls its arms in, flattens its body, and glides along the seafloor like a flatfish. If threatened, it hides 6 arms in a hole and waves 2 arms like a venomous sea snake. Active, intelligent mimicry. Evolution's deception. Perhaps the most surprising behavior of all is the ability of some fish to change their color and pattern in mere seconds. This is not a slow, seasonal change like that of the stickleback, but a rapid, almost instantaneous transformation. This ability relies on the incredible control these animals have over their chromatophores, the pigment-filled cells in their skin. By sending nerve signals from their brain, they can expand thousands of these cells. At once, they can contract thousands of these cells at once, painting a new pattern onto their body in the blink of an eye. This allows them to react instantly to their surroundings, their mood a sudden threat. The flounder is a true virtuoso of this art. We have seen how it can match the sandy bottom, but its abilities go far beyond that. In laboratory settings, scientists have placed flounders on checkerboard patterns, polka dot backgrounds. Within seconds, the flounder's skin adjusts, producing a surprisingly accurate imitation of the pattern beneath it. It does this by using its eyes to see the pattern and its brain to coordinate the precise expansion and contraction of its chromatophores. It is a dynamic and living camouflage, a process that one researcher described as painting with its mind. Color change is also a key tool for communication, especially in species with complex social lives. Cuttlefish, the undisputed champions of this ability, use their skin like a high-definition screen to broadcast their intentions. A male approaching a female might display soft, shimmering zebra-like stripes, a signal of courtship. If a rival male appears, one side of his body can erupt into bold, flashing patterns of black and white, a clear signal of aggression. He can literally hold 2 separate conversations at the same time, all written on the canvas of his skin. It is a visual language more complex and rapid than any other in the ocean. A diver friend once witnessed a group of squid hunting at night. He described how they moved in perfect formation, their bodies a uniform, pale white. Suddenly, as they closed in on a school of small fish, their bodies began to flash and pulse with waves of dark color. The coordinated, disorienting light show seemed to confuse the prey, allowing the squid to strike with deadly accuracy. Once the hunt was over, their skin returned to its calm, pale state. It was a stunning display of cooperative hunting, orchestrated entirely through a silent and dazzling language of rapid color change. Just when we think we have understood the rules of color, the ocean reveals another surprise. Some of the most fascinating color stories come from the most unexpected places. Take the parrotfish, a common sight on coral reefs. It is famous for its beak-like mouth, which it uses to scrape algae from coral rock. As it digests the rock and algae, it excretes fine white sand. A single parrotfish can produce hundreds of kilograms of sand each year, helping to create the beautiful white beaches we associate with the tropics. But its most peculiar secret is revealed at night. As darkness falls, many species of parrotfish perform a bizarre ritual. They secrete a thick, transparent mucus from a gland in their head. They then envelop themselves in this gooey bubble, creating a protective sleeping bag. Scientists believe this mucus cocoon serves 2 purposes. Firstly, it masks the parrotfish's scent, making it harder for nocturnal predators like moray eels to find them by smell. Secondly, it may act as a physical barrier against smaller parasites. A researcher who first documented this behavior described it as, well, finding a fish in its pajamas, a strange and wonderful adaptation for a safe night's sleep. Another surprise comes from the world of cleaning stations. On reefs around the world, certain locations act as service stations where larger fish come to be cleaned. The cleaners are usually small, brightly colored fish. Shrimp also act as cleaners. The cleaner wrasse, with its bold black and electric blue stripe, is one of the most common. It performs a little dance to advertise its services. Larger fish will stop and wait. Groupers will open their mouths and gill covers. Barracudas will do the same, allowing the tiny wrassa to swim inside and pick off dead skin and parasites. It is a moment of incredible trust, brokered by a recognizable color pattern and a specific behavior. But this relationship has been exploited by an imposter. The saber-toothed blenny has evolved to look almost exactly like the helpful cleaner wrassa. Large fish, seeing its familiar colors, will stop to be cleaned. But instead of removing parasites, the blenny uses its sharp, fang-like teeth to take a bite of flesh or fin, and then quickly darts away. This is an aggressive form of mimicry. It is a reminder that in the world of color and behavior, things are not always as they seem. For every beautiful dance, there is a cunning deception, a constant evolutionary battle of wits played out in living color. Our journey through the underwater world has shown us that color is far more than just a beautiful decoration. It is a fundamental language, a set of intricate tools life uses to solve its greatest challenges. Sunlit coral cities, crushing deep-sea blackness, evolution has painted masterpieces of adaptation. Every hue, every pattern, every iridescent shimmer. A fish's color is a window into its life. Brilliant red, a warning of poison. Shimmering structural blue, a mating signal. Brown and green patterns, seagrass camouflage. Pigments from diet. Living light from chemistry. Color connects a fish to its home. Color connects a fish to its food. Color connects a fish to its partners. Color connects a fish to its enemies. This exploration has revealed breathtaking complexity and surprise. Flounder quick change camouflage. Anglerfish bioluminescence in the abyss. Mimic wearing another animal's colors. These behaviors teach us about evolutionary pressures and opportunities. Colors reveal ocean health, a vibrant, teeming reef. Clownfish orange and healthy anemone. Bleached, ghostly reef and fading fish. The web of life is fraying. The underwater splendor is precious and fragile. The vibrant world we have explored faces unprecedented threats. Warming seas cause corals to bleach, turning bustling cities of color into pale, silent graveyards. Pollution clouds the water, choking the light that fuels these ecosystems. Overfishing can remove key species, disrupting a delicate balance built over millennia. The homes of these colorful creatures are at risk, and with them, the spectacular tapestry of life they support. We are at a critical moment. Our actions or our inaction will decide the future. The silence of the deep could become permanent. But despair is not a solution. Hope lies in our understanding and in our collective will to act. The solutions are within our grasp. They begin with simple choices. Reducing our carbon footprint to help slow ocean warming and give coral reefs a fighting chance to recover. Make sustainable seafood choices, select fish from well-managed sources so populations remain healthy for generations. Support organizations dedicated to marine conservation, amplify individual efforts, drive meaningful change globally. We are not powerless spectators, we are custodians of this blue planet. Protecting colorful fish isn't just for scientists and governments. It is a responsibility we all share. Start by fostering wonder and connection. Share this knowledge with our children. Teach them the mandarin fish's dance. Teach them the parrotfish's sleeping bag. Understand the intricate stories in the language of color, and you cannot see the ocean as mere resource. It becomes a world of wonder filled with countless unique lives, each with its own story, each with its own beauty, each with its own intrinsic right to exist. Next time you see a coral reef image or dip beneath the waves yourself, look closer. See beyond the beauty, read the stories being told. See the warning in the lionfish's stripes. See the promise in the angelfish's patterns. See the ingenuity in the flounder's disguise. This world of living jewels is one of Earth's greatest treasures, a world worth protecting whose vibrant colors we must keep from fading into memory. The future of color is in our hands. Let us ensure it remains as brilliant as the life that creates it.